Introduction of Rural Sociology and Educational Psychology. Culture Concept. By Dr. Saurabh Sharma, Associate Professor, Nagaland University, Medzifema Campus, Nagaland. Cultural Frameworks, Understanding Our Shared Human Experience. A comprehensive exploration of how culture shapes society, influences behavior, and creates meaning across generations. Presented by the Cultural Development Initiative. The meaning of culture. Culture encompasses the ideas, customs, social behaviors, beliefs, values, traditions, art, and institutions that define a particular group of people or society. It shapes identity, influences interactions, and provides a framework for understanding the world. At its core, culture represents a distinctive way of life for a group of people. A complete design for living that includes thinking, acting, and feeling. Everything humans learn or acquire as members of society. All human societies have culture, though contents differ significantly across communities and regions. Culture is shared among members of a community and transmitted from generation to generation, creating continuity while allowing for evolution and adaptation. Defining culture, academic perspectives. Culture is the sum total of the ways in which human beings live and transmitted from generation to generation by learning. According to Kuhn, culture is the complex whole, which includes knowledge, belief, art, moral, law, customs, and any other capability and habits acquired by them as members of society. According to Tyler, culture is fundamentally a continually changing pattern of learned behavior, including attitudes, values, knowledge, and material objects, that is shared by and transmitted among members of society. Overt versus covert aspects of culture. Overt culture. The visible, observable elements of culture that are easily recognized. Language and communication styles. Traditional clothing and fashion. Food and cuisine. Art, music and dance. Public rituals and celebrations. Architecture and physical artifacts. These elements can be directly seen, experienced, and documented. Covert culture. The hidden, underlying aspects not immediately visible. Core values and beliefs. Attitudes toward authority and hierarchy. Concepts of time and space. Unspoken social norms. Thought processes and decision-making approaches. Spiritual or philosophical worldviews. These elements shape behavior but operate beneath the surface. The iceberg model of culture illustrates how most cultural elements remain below the surface, with only a small portion visible to casual observers. Characteristics of culture. 1. Uniquely human. Only humans possess culture, created during the process of controlling ourselves, others, and nature. No other species develops complex cultural systems. 2. Learned, not inherited. Culture is acquired through social interactions and communication rather than through biological inheritance. We learn cultural patterns from parents, peers, and institutions. 3. Intergenerationally transmitted. Cultural knowledge, skills, and values pass from one generation to the next, creating continuity while allowing for evolution. 4. Universal yet unique. All societies have culture, but each society develops distinctive cultural patterns that reflect its particular history and circumstances. Characteristics of culture, relativity and diversity. Culture is relative. There is no absolute standard for judging cultures as good or bad. Cultural practices must be understood within their own context and history. Example, communal dining practices vary dramatically across cultures. Sharing food from a common plate can be viewed as a sign of unity and hospitality in some cultures, potentially unhygienic or intrusive in others. Neither approach is inherently superior, they reflect different cultural values regarding community and personal space. Culture is diverse. Culture varies widely across and within countries, often influenced by ecological diversity and local adaptation. Example, Indian cuisine demonstrates remarkable regional diversity. Coastal Kerala, seafood-based dishes with coconut flavoring. Northern Punjab, wheat-based breads like roti and paratha. Himalayan regions, heavy, warming food suited to cold climates. Southern regions, lighter fare adapted to warmer weather. Functions of culture in society. Provides foundation for social living. Culture creates shared understanding and patterns that enable complex social organization and cooperation. Fulfills fundamental needs. Cultural systems address biological and socio-economic necessities, from reproduction and shelter to relationships and identity. Facilitates cooperation. Cultural norms promote coordination among individuals and groups, allowing for collective action and mutual support. Offers ready-made definitions. Culture provides individuals with pre-established ways to interpret situations, reducing uncertainty in social interactions. Maps life activities. Cultural patterns guide individuals through various life stages and situations, creating predictability and stability. Serves as social control. Through norms, folkways, and laws, culture regulates behavior and maintains social order without constant enforcement. Defines behavioral patterns. Culture establishes expected behaviors, allowing individuals to act in socially appropriate ways within their community. The importance of culture. Civilizing force. Culture transforms humans into civilized beings through values like respect for elders, cooperation, and compassion. Behavioral regulation. Culture provides guidelines that shape and regulate individual and group behavior within societies. Social organization. Concepts like family, state, nation, and class emerge from culture, facilitating coordination and division of labor. Group unity. Shared cultural elements foster a sense of belonging and collective identity among community members. Cultural change, essential for growth. Culture isn't static, it evolves through discovery, invention, and cross-cultural learning. This dynamic quality makes cultural change crucial for extension work and community development efforts that aim to transform behaviors and practices. Cultural change. Through extension efforts, we can change the human behavior. The structure of culture. Culture is organized in hierarchical layers, from simple elements to complex systems. Cultural traits. Single ideas or elements forming the building blocks of culture. Examples: material traits, pagdi, sari, dhoti, and non-material traits, handshake greeting, covering face with sari as a sign of respect. Cultural complexes. Combinations of related cultural traits that function together. Example: the thread ceremony, Janau, in Hindu Brahmin culture combines multiple traits into a meaningful ritual whole. Cultural patterns. Shared ways of doing things or believing that shape behavior across generations. Example: the greeting gesture of folded hands, Namaste, in India, taught to children and practiced throughout life. Ethnocentrism and acculturation. Ethnocentrism is the tendency of man to consider his own culture of high value and superior to all others and judge other cultures in terms of standard values that exist in his culture. Chitamba Jade B. Effects of ethnocentrism. Promotes loyalty and conformity within the group. Creates resistance to cultural change. Hinders intercultural and international relations. Leads to misunderstanding and conflict between cultures. Acculturation. Acculturation occurs when people from different cultures come into continuous contact, resulting in changes to the original cultural patterns of either one or both cultures. This process involves the adoption or integration of elements from another culture, such as food habits and cuisine, clothing and fashion, language and speech patterns, values and social practices. Ethnocentrism. Cultural dynamics, continuity, inertia and lag. Cultural continuity. Cultural elements, both material and non-material, tend to persist over time rather than completely disappear. The past remains useful to people in the present and future, creating an unbroken line of cultural transmission across generations. This continuity provides stability and a sense of identity while allowing for gradual evolution. Cultural inertia. Resistance to cultural change by individuals or groups is known as cultural inertia. This phenomenon can sometimes preserve valuable traditions, but it can also maintain cultural behaviors that no longer serve any practical purpose. Cultural inertia often reflects emotional attachment to familiar ways of life or fear of the unknown. Cultural lag. Different aspects of culture change at unequal rates, creating a gap or lag between elements. Typically, material culture, technology, tools, changes more rapidly than non-material culture, values, beliefs, social norms. This uneven pace of change can create tensions and contradictions within a society as it adapts to new realities. Elements of culture. Customs. Socially accepted behaviors passed down through tradition, such as touching elders' feet for blessings in Indian families. Norms. Rules specifying appropriate behavior, functioning as blueprints that set limits within which individuals may seek to achieve their goals. Elements of culture, folkways and mores. Folkways. Folkways are traditional practices and knowledge passed down through generations within a community. These everyday customs reflect local wisdom and practical solutions to common challenges. Example, using neem leaves for pest control in farming reflects indigenous knowledge in sustainable agriculture, a practice developed over centuries of observation and experimentation. Mores. Mores are important customs related to what is considered right and wrong within a culture. Breaking mores can lead to serious social consequences, including ostracism from the community. Example, if someone steals from community members, they might be excluded from important social gatherings and events, reflecting the strong moral disapproval of the group. While folkways guide everyday behaviors with flexible expectations, mores carry stronger moral weight and stricter enforcement through social sanctions. Refers to traditional practices and knowledge passed down through generations within a community. Are important customs that relate to what is considered right and wrong, and breaking them can lead to serious consequences like being avoided by others. If someone steals, they might be left out of community events. Elements of culture, taboos and beyond. Taboos. Taboos are cultural prohibitions, things one ought not to do. Unlike mores, which focus on positive actions, taboos represent negative restrictions communicated through verbal don'ts and unwritten laws of society. Examples: eating beef in Hindu religion, consuming pork in Muslim religion, marriage within the family among Hindus. Cultural laws. These are formal, codified rules that societies have carefully established and explicitly communicated. They are logical, practical and often enforced through official channels. Examples: laws against drunk driving, murder, and theft that have specific penalties attached to violations. Beliefs. Beliefs are strong ideas held to be true, even without scientific proof, often transmitted across generations. A belief system comprises values and ideas that a group considers important. Example: the practice of Shraddh in Hindu culture, where families perform rituals to honor ancestors, reflects values of respect for lineage and family continuity. Elements of culture, ceremonies and traditions. Rituals. Established sequences of actions performed in a specific order, often for religious or cultural purposes. These symbolic practices foster community cohesion. Example: wedding ceremonies following specific traditions to celebrate union, symbolizing love and commitment. Ceremonies. Formal events marking significant occasions or rites of passage, often involving specific traditions and rituals that acknowledge important life transitions. Example: ring ceremony, engagement, symbolizing commitment before marriage. Traditions. Uniform, sanctioned habits of thought followed consistently within a society, providing continuity and cultural identity across generations. Example: the reverence for cows as sacred animals in Hindu culture, an accepted thought pattern with deep religious significance. These three elements, rituals, ceremonies, and traditions, work together to create meaningful cultural experiences that connect individuals to their heritage and community. Distinguishing cultural elements. Differences between mores and taboos. Mores. Taboos. Refer to positive actions. Refer to negative actions. Customs regarded as vital or essential. Customs that are explicitly forbidden. Things that ought to be done. Things that ought not to be done. E.g., monogamy, honesty. E.g., eating beef in Hindu religion. Differences between mores and folkways. Mores. Folkways. Involve moral standards. Customary ways of behaving. Rigidly enforced with severe penalties. May face criticism but not severe penalties. Violation may disturb society. Violation has minimal effect on society. Considered essential by society. Expected but not rigidly enforced. E.g., monogamy, honesty. E.g., good manners, greeting others. Role of culture in extension work. 01. Cultural understanding. Extension workers must comprehend the cultural patterns of communities where they implement development programs, as thinking and practices vary widely between societies. 02. Leveraging cultural dynamics. Culture continuously changes due to internal and external stimuli. Community development aims to guide these changes toward desired goals through scientific understanding, e.g., avoiding pig-rearing programs in Muslim villages. 03. Building on familiar elements. Greater success occurs when improved practices build on existing cultural elements, e.g., enhancing traditional plows with iron plowshares rather than introducing entirely new tools. 04. Identifying opportunities for change. Change more readily occurs in aspects of culture experiencing stress or lacking adjustment, e.g., introducing improved practices in areas recently affected by floods or fires. 05. Prioritizing technological innovation. Technological changes are typically accepted more easily than changes to other aspects of culture, e.g., introducing improved crop seeds faces less resistance than altering social structures. Thank you.